14 years of sending thousands of forms out a year. I started doing this as a business over 20 years ago, making the geometries. And after 14 years, we had enough out there to create a critical mass. As I was saying earlier, we're building this bridge to higher dimensional levels, and energy always moves out and in, rhythmically, cyclically. What happens is now I'm able to use these forms. People are using them wherever they are. They're bringing through energy, but they're also broadcasting energy. So all of these forms I'm drawing upon to broadcast energy back to a collection point here in Colorado. And the two mountains that you see up here, when you have a double peak, what happens is you have a vessel, you have a chalice, it's like this. It catches the energy. So that's what's happening with these peaks that are 14,000 feet high. They're catching that energy and starting to move it back toward the collection point here on the land. Larry asked me the other day how I discovered that. Basically, in '95, I was visiting the island of Crete and saw that, I'll make a long story short, Herculaneum, where they have a castle that was built over 4,500 years ago. 4,000 years ago, people built this castle that was 6 stories high and had lots of rooms. That's where the myth about the labyrinth comes from, and at Minos. And it comes from this castle. All the frescoes were people that were dancing. They had flowers in there. They were swimming with dolphins. There were no war scenes in any of the pictures in this castle, which was unheard of in the Mediterranean. Everyone was into conquering and bringing back the guys. Well, in their courtyard, they had these large 12-foot-high bullhorns, just stylized like this. And I noticed they were all turned toward this double peak in a distance. And I realized that these people were tuning in to that double peak in order to catch that energy and ground it in their temple. And I went, aha! That's what's going on in this land, because we have the perfect viewpoint of that double peak here. There's a series of them, like a rifle shot, like a gun barrel, where it directly moves the energy, and it moves it. You can see that there they are overlapping from a plane, those two mountains, the way they line up, and both of them are catching that energy and moving it toward Blue Mountain. This is the mountain that's up here behind our home. We're down, have to see on here where we are. Okay, here's the mountain. We're right down there. That's where our house is. There's this little hill in front of us. So the energy is being directed into this mountain, and then it has like a dragon's back coming down, where the energy flows down the back of that mountain. Anybody who understands feng shui, I think they often refer to the dragon's back of the mountain. In back of this mountain is a gigantic reservoir of water. You were talking about water earlier today, I overheard. See, water catches energy. It helps, that's what I was speaking of earlier. It actually starts to ground it. So having that east of this mountain, as the energy is coming this way, it helps ground that energy, helps root it into the mountain. This is showing the water from the perspective of Long's Peak, looking back east toward the mountain.